Hi, I'm Megan. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have a really quick little video about a brand new pattern from Pattern Emporium called the Every Day's a Weekend dress. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and a little bit more about the pattern that I made during the tester round, stay tuned. So it is getting hot here in Calgary, which is where I live. Calgary's in Alberta, Canada. And it is supposed to be 31 degrees Celsius today, which is about as hot as it usually gets here and much hotter than it usually gets at the beginning of June. As I was thinking about getting ready for summer, sundresses are one of my favorite things to wear, and I think I prefer to throw on a dress because it's one piece, and I always wear like little bike shorts or little slip shorts under my dresses because I'm way more comfortable that way. Like, you never know when you're going to need to do a spontaneous cartwheel or like thigh rub is a real thing for lots of us, but throwing on a little sundress is one of my favorite ways to stay cool in the summer. When I saw the tester call for the new Pattern Emporium dress, I was a little bit underwhelmed because I didn't really think it would be a style that would flatter me, that I'd get a lot of wear out of. And honestly, I'd made a dress very similar last year from another pattern company, but after Kate and Mel, who are two of the lead designers with Pattern Emporium, posted a number of shots and shared some of their like first round makes, I signed up and am ever glad that I did. So I am a member of the Pattern Emporium tester pool. That means that I help that pattern company as they're designing patterns to make sure that the pattern goes together well, that the technical fit is good, that the instructions are clear, and also that it fits all of the various sizes appropriately, that the design looks the way it's supposed to look at all the different size ranges. So I love the testing process because I like to sew with a deadline. I also really like the community element, and I've said this before that I get a lot out of the testing process. I think that there's so much to learn from more experienced sewists and also from beginner sewists who approach things a different way and who make you really think about, well, why is it important that you do that? Or why can you skip that step or not skip that step? So I really enjoyed testing this pattern because the gathering on this tiered dress, there were so many different methods that were discussed in the tester group. And I think gathering is a bit meditative. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I love the way it looks. So always willing to experiment and learn different ways to do it. Ultimately, in my dress, I did the gathers the way I always do the gathers, and it turned out great. I'm really happy with the finished garment. So the Every Day's a Weekend dress, and that name is a bit of a mouthful, so if I flub it in this video, my apologies, comes with a truckload of options, like a boatload of options, more options than I'm not even going to do the math. I'm a words person, not a numbers person. But this dress comes with two different bodice fits. So there's a relaxed fit bodice, which is the bodice that I made. And then there's a tapered fit bodice, which is slightly more tapered in towards the waist, but not tight. I wasn't sure this dress was going to be for me because I like waist definition. Like, I like to have my garments fit closer on the waist and then looser at the hip. And this has more of that, loose, lots of volume, flowing straight from the bust down. Wasn't sure how it was going to look on me, and honestly, I love it. This dress is, it's swishy and it's comfortable, and when it's hot, I think I'm going to get a ton of wear out of this. I say that all the time, but I really do think I'm going to put this on when I go to the playground over a bathing suit. It'd make an awesome beach cover-up. I also think just hanging around the house, like, it's so breezy and airy. If you made it out of a really breathable or light fabric, it'd be perfect for a heat wave. So anyway, yeah, so it comes with tons of options. Mine is a size 16 relaxed fit bodice. I did not grade up for my waist and hips. My measurements would typically put me into a few different sizes, 2 or 3, depending on the pattern. And this one, the instructions suggested that I just make one size. I don't need to multi-size. I was skeptical. I'm glad that I followed the instructions because there is more than enough ease in the skirt for me to feel super comfortable in the dress. I still get that beautiful, voluminous, drapey skirt without tons of extra volume, I think. And it made it easy to sew. I didn't have to grade on the pattern, which isn't really that much work, but sometimes you just want to cut straight into it. yeah, so I made a size 16. The pattern came with 3 different length options. So there's a mini option, a knee length option, and a midi length option. I made the knee length option. I cut it at the tall length. I'm 5'9", and it's perfect. Like, it's just right above the knee. I think it makes my legs look longer, which I already have pretty long legs, so that's not, you know, it's not an impressive feat or anything, but I do like the where it hits on the leg, and I hemmed it, you know, probably just at 3/8 and very very quickly on my cover stitch. So it's great. It has 2 tiers on the skirt. So the tiers are gathered, and I gathered by using, you know, 2 long lines of running stitch and then basting stitch rather, and then I just gathered them by pulling on the threads to gather it to the appropriate circumference for the bodice, and then the second tier. I think this dress looks really great at the midi length with like a tighter long sleeve, or the mini length with the billowy bishop sleeve. I think would make a really cute top over leggings if you are not in the heat wave, or, you know, you like have air conditioning in your office and you're chilly. So I do think, you know, it's a trans-seasonal pattern. So yeah, so it has a ton of options. Like I said, there are 6 different neckline options. I made the mid-level scoop neck. There are 6 different sleeve options. I made a cap sleeve, so I kept it pretty simple for summer. There's no sleeveless option, but you could mash it with some of their other patterns that have the same arm side, the same neckline, and just adjust the arm side, probably bind it or band it, and you would do okay with that. It also comes, as I mentioned, with the 2 different bodices. So this is the relaxed fit, so it is very relaxed. There's lots of room in the bodice, and there's tons of volume in the skirt. I'll put in some pictures where the breeze caught it, and I did say to my girlfriend that, like, I could smuggle 2 frozen turkeys out of the grocery store in this thing. And not that I'm advocating you go out and steal any frozen poultry, but, like, there's tons of room in this dress. So if you don't like close-fitting garments when it's hot, and I used to always wear, like, tight tank tops and skinny jeans in the summertime, or tight jeans, and now just the thought of it makes me, like, so hot and so sweaty. As I sit here by the window, I'm so hot right now. So yeah, the loose airiness of it, it's just a great dress. I think I feel sensational in it. I think I look really good in it too. My husband even sort of commented, he was like, "Oh, that's a nice dress, fabric." And it's a bit bright for his taste, but I don't sew for him, I sew for me. And then when I put it on, he's like, "Actually, that looks pretty good on you." So yeah, definitely like beachy vibes. Mine is made out of fabric that I bought in Fabricland, called Millie ITY. So it's their current stock. I got it, it was on sale for $6 a meter when I bought it. So it probably will be on sale for about that for the rest of the summertime. It is a 100% polyester fabric. It doesn't feel super great. It also has this like puff paint, the white outline of the flowers is puff paint, so it's textured. So as I was sewing, if the right side of my fabric was down on the bed or the needle plate of my sewing machine, it would stick a little bit. So that wasn't super fun. I was kind of regretting my fabric choice. This also, so it calls for 4-way stretch. And when I went to the fabric store to buy this, I took my daughter with me. So I was rushing, and she was not super impressed about being at the fabric store. Though then she discovered the wall of like glittery unicorn tulle, and we did come home with some of that for her. But so I was rushing. I knew I needed something. I needed about, 3 meters of something for this new dress I'd signed up to test. I knew it needed to be a light stretch knit. I knew it needed to be 4-way. So when I pulled it off the bolt, I went kind of like, good enough. Got home, and it's a 2-way stretch with just like a little bit of give vertically. Maybe like you can just sort of see, like it's got a tiny bit of stretch, and it worked fine. Because it's not a close-fitting dress, you can get away with it. Like it doesn't restrict. It's not in the bodice, like over the bust line. I don't feel like it's hiking up into my armpit, and it's not catching on my bust line either. So that's something to keep in mind. But they did have this fabric at Fabricland in 2 different colorways. I picked it, like I said, I was rushing. It was cheap. But also I had a dress when I was pregnant that my mom bought for me at Walmart. I think it was like a long maxi dress, and if I can find a picture of me, we were at a street festival, and that's the last time I think I wore it, and I was it was like 2 weeks before I gave birth to my son, and it was like 28 or 29 degrees, and we had been walking for about 5 hours, and my mother-in-law was with us, and my daughter was 4 at the time, and I was exhausted. But I loved that dress, and I wore it. It did fall apart ultimately, like I'd stretched it out because it wasn't a maternity dress, but it had an empire waist, and by the time I put my post-maternity body into it, I realized it had stretched out beyond the point where the knee would recover back. So I did pass it along. But this reminded me enough of it that I got those same vibes. It made me really happy. And it made me think about, that excitement before my son was born. And my mother-in-law's not well. And so we won't be able to do something like that again. And so just thinking about, sitting on that rooftop, it was so hot. And my daughter was whining and my mother-in-law wouldn't stop talking, and I just wanted to sit down. My ankles were like the size of hams. It doesn't sound great, but it's one of those things in life where you look back on it, you're like, that really was a good memory. Anyway, mushy stuff aside, you're here for the dress. So yeah, I definitely would recommend this dress. Even if you don't think it's going to be conventionally flattering for your shape, give it a try. I think it's beautiful. I do think that it is very similar to a lot of the dress patterns that are out right now. So I have made another dress from another designer that is very similar. I made it last year. If you're interested in me doing a comparison of the two patterns, let me know in the comment box down below, and I'll think of a way to do that. I can kind of compare the two and share my experiences. But I do love Pattern Emporium patterns. I thought the fit on this was spot on, so I picked based on my upper bust size. And my upper bust and my upper bust measurement put me like right on the line between the 16 and the 18. So I asked Kate, the designer, which one she thought I should make, and she suggested me that I size down. So like really it was like one of them was 100 centimeters and one of them was 101 centimeters, and I think I was at like 100.5 centimeters was my upper bust measurement the day that I measured. So I did size down. I would make another one of these in this size, absolutely. I think you could make this dress in double brushed polyester, which there's so many fun prints I think would be great. Just a word though, like you'll be hot in it. If your spring and summer is less roasty toasty than 30 degrees, so if you're like sewing for a 22-degree day, double brushed polyester would be great. DTY, ITY, any of the polyester 4-way stretch knits they sell at Fabricland would be awesome. Rayon spandex. You need something with some good recovery to hold those gathers, but not too thick. I did see one of the other testers use Liverpool and it looked great, but the thicker fabric or cotton lycra will tent out on you. So if that's the look that you like, go for it. If you want that more of a flowy drapey skirt, you want to go with a lighter weight knit. I think bamboo cotton jersey would look great if you wanted to go with something more breathable. Maybe even modal would be good. Rib knit would stretch out a lot, so I'd stay away from that because I don't think it has the recovery that you need. You might have to adjust the pattern to suit that fabric. But anyway, if you want to pretend it's Saturday, even when it's Tuesday, and you're in a conference call, and you'd rather imagine that you're sitting poolside, listening to your kids play in the fountain, or maybe you're at the beach or the resort, try out the Every Day's a Weekend dress. It's perfect for summer here, and I love it. If you have any questions about this pattern, let me know. I will put a link to the pattern in the description box below. I do have an affiliate link with Pattern Emporium, so what that means is that if you click on the link and then buy the pattern, I get a commission off of the pattern sale. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and when the pattern's on sale, you still get the pattern sale price. So anyway, I will be romping around the splash park in this later today, and I will see you again soon. Bye.